Hey, it's time for Streaming Idiots. I'm Tom Sinclair, your chief idiot. Boy, am I going to be an idiot today. Hang around, hear all about it. I get a kick out of that music, I tell you what. That's something called Fresh and Fun that came to me, I think it was about $35 for the license from pond5.com, Fresh and Fun. And it just, it kind of tickled me. So I made it my theme song for Streaming Idiots. Hey, welcome. Glad you're here with me. I'm Tom Sinclair, Streaming Idiot Supreme. And we've been doing this Streaming Idiot thing way before we had the official title. And it's been a lot of fun figuring out how all this stuff works and how you can make things, you know, kind of work together that weren't intended to work together. It's kind of like the old hot rod days about in Southern California in the 50s and 60s, where they were taking parts and making cars go fast. We're doing the same thing with internet broadcasting, but it's not nearly as greasy. More to my liking, anyway. The purpose of our show is to make the case that any idiot, any idiot can get on internet TV and look pretty good and sound pretty good and come up with a pretty good show without being the brightest bulb in the room. But it takes having the right stuff. You know, the right PC, the right hardware, the right software, the right cameras and mics and all that kind of stuff. And we try to make it a little bit easier. You can go to our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, and go to the, I don't know whether we call it the store, or whatever we're calling it nowadays. Anyway, there's all sorts of stuff there. There's VidBlaster, there's vMix. We're authorized resellers for both of those. We've got an Amazon affiliate link page that's got all sorts of products that can be delivered by Amazon. We get a small affiliate fee. But they're products that we've tested and actually have our comments there on the page as to how we tested it, what we found. Did it work well? How did it work? You know, kind of the insider info that you need in order to try to be successful, especially if you're just starting out. You know, once you've been doing this for a while, you know what works. But if you're just starting out and you're kind of saying, okay, where do I start? Well, I start where I started. I started on eBay. I got the cheapest stuff I could find. And I've got a shelf of it over there of all the stuff that's left over. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, coming up next month, we have got our giveaway contest. And people have been peppering me with ideas about what to give away. And somebody said money. It just don't give away stuff. Just give away money. And I thought, okay, good. Well, you can be the first sponsor of that part of the show then. But I did think, you know, there are a lot of times there are products that I will buy in order to test and to see, you know, is this something I want to use, or, you know, is it something I don't want to use? And these are not things that manufacturers have given me to promote. They're things that I'm spending my bucks for to test out. And I'm looking up on my shelf over there, and I've got a lot of stuff that you might like. I've got a high-definition camera input that plugs into a USB 2.0 port. And I've tested it, and I didn't really see a use for it. And I'll tell you, in fact, I reviewed it in a VidBlaster Guy or a Streaming Idiot show a while back on YouTube. You can check our YouTube page and track it down. It's called the Febron stick, F-E-B-R-O-N stick. And you might like that. I've got, I don't know that I even want to part with this, but I've got a lightly used Osprey 450E standard definition 4-port capture card, PCIe version, mind you. So we may give that away, even though it's a little obsolete. If you're doing standard definition broadcasting, and a lot of people are, it's a great way to have four captures come in, and it's pretty cool. Somebody's saying here, I would like a reasonable 4-input capture card device that I can use on a laptop. Well, they got them. If your laptop's got USB 3, then they've got them. Blackmagic has got one. Magewell's got one, and I think other people have got one too. And if you've got Thunderport, what is that? That Thunderbolt port, then you've got some other options as well. But I'm not going to be giving away that. Sorry about that. That stuff's generally pretty pricey, and this stuff's already bought and paid for. But the contest is going to be a lot of fun, and I'll give you more details on that as we get to it. We'll probably start the contest officially in mid-March, and then award prizes at the end of the month. So that'll give you a couple of weeks to get your act together and figure out just how you're going to win. And so we'll have more details on that coming up in the next couple of weeks. And now for the subject of the day. Back in December, in fact, December 19th to be exact, we did a live show on Streaming Idiots called Monetize Your Videos. How to monetize your video. And we posted it on YouTube. It's been very well received on YouTube, gotten lots and lots of hits. And you can go back and watch it December 19th. Or go to Eastern Shore Broadcasting and go to the archives button and go back to Streaming Idiots 2014, and it should be the very first one on the list because they're in kind of reverse chronological order. And, you know, all those great ideas of mine I stole from somebody else. And just recently somebody sort of stole the theme for that show, and that's okay. I mean, there's nothing that's new under the sun anymore. We take a little of this and a little of that, and we mix it all together, and we have a new creation. And that's the way it ought to be. But somebody took the idea on how to monetize your video, and they basically said, you know, there are 3 basic ways to do it. Well, I think there are more than 3 basic ways, but that's okay if they want to narrow it down to 3. You can do advertising. Well, within advertising, there's, you know, about 6 different ways right there. You can do sponsorships, have somebody sponsor your show, and there are 3 or 4 ways to do that I can think of off the top of my head. Or you can do pay-per-view. Well, the person that was writing this blog post actually worked for a CDN that did pay-per-view. So guess what conclusion they came to? Yep, pay-per-view is the best way to monetize your video. Well, I got all sorts of problems with that. Number one, it's self-serving. And I'm going to come back to the self-serving concept with somebody else in just a minute. But that was a blog post that was in disguise. It was disguised as being helpful to you when really it wasn't helpful to you at all. It was helpful to them. It wasn't trying to help you learn or help you make a decision on what's the best way to do whatever it is you want to do to monetize your video. It didn't take into consideration the challenges that you face and the opportunities that you had. It was a one-size-fits-all, yeah, do pay-per-view, and we get a take on it, and that's the best way to do it. And, I disagree with the conclusion, number one, and I disagree with the method even more than that. I think the conclusion is flawed, and I'll come back to that in just a second, too. But I disagree with the method, that is deceitful. I'd spell it if I could. It is lying. You are deceiving somebody into believing something that may or may not be true, that it's best for them. No, don't do that. You give our industry a black eye. You make us untrustworthy. And so everybody now has to wonder, well, if I can't trust that guy over there to tell me the truth, I probably can't trust this guy over here, the streaming idiot, to tell me the truth either. Because he's probably got a dog in the hunt. He's probably going to get some sort of cut on this. Well, if I get a cut on it, I'm going to tell you. And in fact, I think I started the show by telling you what my cuts were. I'm an authorized VidBlaster reseller, authorized vMix reseller, i.e. I make money when you buy that product from me. I don't make money if you buy it from somebody else. I have an affiliate relationship with Amazon, and if you buy stuff that's listed on my website, that links to Amazon, then I get a, I don't know, 3%, 4% commission on that, something like that. Not a lot, but just, pennies here and there. That's okay. Pennies make dollars. I want that clear. Yes, I get benefits by this. But at the same time, I want you to be able to trust what I say as being true, at least to the best of my ability to give it to you. I may have it wrong, but if I have it wrong, it's because I'm an idiot, not because I'm trying to get you to buy something that is not the best for you. Now, why is pay-per-view not the best? Well, it might be the best in your circumstance, but it's not necessarily the best. And how can somebody make that conclusion without talking to you first? Maybe you've got a girls' softball team, and 5 of the dads on the softball team have got big companies, and they would dearly love for their parents that are located in another part of the country to be able to watch their granddaughter's softball games. And they would be happy to sponsor your broadcast. They don't care how many people watch it. As long as their parents get to watch it, they're thrilled. I had a guy write me a $1,000 check for that. That'll go a long way. Went a long way, went further a while back than it might today. But he was happy to do it. He was happy to do it. He was sponsored. His name would be on it. He would sponsor a particular part of the show. And, if his company got some ad revenue, got some benefit from it, that was fine, but that's not why he did it. And he had the authority to be able to make that happen. So don't poo-poo sponsorships. Sponsorships are great ways for people to accomplish their purposes and help you accomplish yours. I'm good with that. I am all over that. Sponsorships also can be part of a sports team's package. If they're, selling T-shirts with logos on the sleeve and maybe selling banners at the stadium, and they can sell sponsorships so that they have a broadcast, and somebody can, for one check, they can sponsor the broadcast. They can get a name on a T-shirt. They can get their sign out there, and they've got all these benefits by being a sponsor. Don't knock that. It helps the team. And teams a lot of times are glad to include the sponsorship as part of their offering and will trade a little bit here and there. So there's 2 good ways right off the top of my head where sponsorships make a great solution or part of a solution. Pay-per-view is not the only solution. It doesn't work for everybody. What about the folks that can't afford to watch a $9 pay-per-view game twice a week that their granddaughter's playing in? That's a lot of bucks by the end of the season. Advertising is a great way to do it. The local car dealer would love to have his whatever product it is put on there. And I'll tell you, a lot of charities would love to have it on there too. Now, you're not going to get any money for that, but you'll certainly get a lot of goodwill. There are lots of ways to do the advertising thing. Don't sell that stuff short as a way to monetize your video. And I'm thinking about event video in that sense. If you're doing a talk show like this, there are lots of ways to do advertising. In fact, I've revealed to you part of my secret of how I monetize my show. It's by providing products and services that the show happens to tell you about, but it gives you a lot of other good stuff too. So I'm not going to name the company that did this, but I shake my finger at you and say, don't do that anymore. You're not developing trust in our industry. Another example of that, and I'm really ticked off at this guy. There is and I'm going to be what's the right word? As anonymous as I possibly can about this. There is someone who is a reseller for some software and also builds custom PCs to go with that software that is promoting this to different organizations. We'll put it that way. And So they have a website where they say, hey, come buy our product in our computer that we'll build for you that's custom designed for your organization. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. We're all good. We're all good. But if you happen to do a Google search on the right keywords, like you're looking for that particular organization, that particular type of software, so if it was this kind of software for this kind of organization, among the Google results pops up a review of what's best for this kind of organization if you're doing streaming. You can get these kind of capture cards, you can get these kind of cameras, you can get these kind of mixers, you can get these kind of softwares. And as you read through the article, it's like, oh, good, this is helpful. Here's some of the options I can get. And then it has some recommendations based on the experience of the person putting forth this website. And all the different products linked have hot links, and the hot links go to the manufacturer or a vendor for that product. Let me restate that. To the best of my recollection, all of the hot links go to the manufacturer's page for the particular product or software that's being talked about in this internet web page, except one, and I'll come back to that. And at the conclusion of this, it recommends a particular piece of hardware-software combination as being the best and the easiest and the one that should be done. And that's what we recommend. And it's sort of an objective article. It's got a title up there that's kind of objective. And it gives the illusion of being a objective, trustworthy website that I can get good, accurate information from, and therefore I can make a good decision. And the conclusion that it gets reached, just if you click on the all the links were to manufacturers except one. Well, one of the links was to this guy's website that you can get his custom PC with his software on it that's perfect for your organization. And he's the one that has created this website of supposedly an objective review. Well, that's deceptive. That's lying. That's not telling the truth. That's trying to con somebody. That's not the way you do business. You do business based on the bare facts of what's best for your client. That's just not kosher. And actually, I may have gotten in trouble because I've not been happy with that, and I've expressed that view. I think there was a contact form on that website, and I wrote a note on that contact form, and I said, "You're lying to people. You're not telling the truth, and you know better than that. Is that the way you want to be remembered? Is that the way you want to do business, by lying to people and trying to deceive them?" And I challenged him to take that website down. It hadn't been taken down yet. But how are people gonna be able to move forward in this great new industry if we've got folks out there that are promoting self-interest under the guise of helping your interest? I guess they're wolves in sheep's clothing in every industry, and I'm just so disappointed. I'm so disappointed because I expected better. And you're probably disappointed in this show because you didn't expect all this crap. But it's just been welling up in me, and it's not fair. It's not fair to the streaming idiot out there that doesn't know any better, and so he's looking for good information, and he happens to fall into this trap. And maybe it works for him, and maybe he lives happily ever after. But it's the deceptive intent on both parts of this blogger and this company owner that I object to. That you're trying to deceive people into thinking that you're looking out for their best interest when you're not. You're clearly not. And fortunately, I was able to see through it. And I call them out. I'm not going to call them out by name because I'm going to give them the opportunity, if they get wind of this video, I'm going to give them the opportunity to clean their own house without being called out by name. But I will call them out privately. I already have with one, and I will with the other. And say, guys, you're not shooting straight. You're not playing fair. And I'm really disappointed. And, you know, maybe that will be enough. Yeah, that's a real hammer, isn't it? Tom Sinclair, the streaming idiot's disappointed in you. Well, anyway, that's my diatribe. That's my soapbox today about integrity in internet broadcasting and in the business of internet broadcasting. Integrity is important. Integrity is important. Well, I appreciate all the guys watching live that are still watching. I mean, I guess they're still watching. They could be snoozing away. And for those of you that have watched on YouTube, thank you for making it all the way to the end here. And I tell you what, if you've made it to the end of this video, we're going to sweeten the pot a little bit. If you've made it to the end of this video is made February 25th, 2015. If in the next month, from February 25th, 2015 to March 25th, 2015, if you will send me an email, tom@streamingidiots.com, I will give you a 10% discount on anything in our store that you want to purchase. Or I will send you a prize through the mail of my choosing. And I'm going to have to scratch my head on that and think of what the prize is. But if you've watched this on YouTube and you want to claim a 10% discount on something in our store, it can't be the Amazon affiliate stuff because we don't even make 10% on that, but the other stuff, then I'd be happy to do that. And that'll kind of be a sign to me that, yeah, there was one guy that he sent in an email because he watched that show all the way to the end. So this is Tom Sinclair, streaming idiot. In fact, today he is the ranting idiot. Next week will be a better show, I promise. We'll have all sorts of fun. Actually, we've got some great shows lined up. We've got Ted from Tally Lights coming on. We've got Mr. Mahoney from who's got the live to air, kind of the four-way Skype guest talk show feature stuff. Alan Bunt's going to be on the show. R.J. Murdoch's going to be on the show. Paul Allen Clifford is going to be on the show. In fact, I think we've got him scheduled for a week, 2 weeks from today. So if you're not following us on Twitter, please do that. It's on our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, so you can get notices. Follow us on YouTube. Watch us live Wednesdays, and live happily ever after. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys again next time. Streaming Idiots comes to you live on Wednesdays about 3:30 Eastern Time, and then promoted on YouTube on Fridays.